So, today's video starts with drawing on every single face the beaver I want to carve this time. This is to attempt to make a better outline where I'll start carving on the connecting in between the lines of all sketches, which will give me at the start a rough shape closer to the intended beaver than what had happened with the chicken. So you send me transfer the lines from my very first sketch to the other sides of the block, where I'm at as much as possible trying to make the shape what I need it to be. And then here you see me starting to cut away in between the lines. This worked well, I think. It made it so that I felt more confident from the very start about what I was doing, which was helpful, but it did lead to some confusion due to because the line for the back, for example, I sketched the entire back, but not the entire back is all the way out to the top, so there's still shaping to be done afterwards that was hard to think about and to remember the exact shape I wanted to go for. So I think it was good for initial confidence, but because of the confusion it gave me a bit later, I think I'm unsure if this method is truly more efficient than what I done with the chicken. My thoughts now are that I probably should only draw on do the carving order that I wanted to do with the chicken, where I carve where I carve one axis all the way through and then the other, but transfer my drawing so that the drawing is on both sides of the block, which should help me then truly remove fairly smoothly all of the matter on that axis and then work from there to shape the rest, which I think would work better. It's hard to say. And because I was trying to follow the lines for the plan I had, I think I lost a bit of time doing the kind of cuts that normally would be reserved for details, but at the very beginning, so may not have been the wisest use of time. Here I've I've started carving away from the neck/head line to the front sketch to give me the rough beginnings of a head shape. This head shape is planned to be I think I did relatively well with the head shape until the very end, where I overworked it a bit. One of the problem I had when making this sculpture, I think, is that I didn't. I planned soon that I wanted to make a beaver for this sculpture, but I didn't really think about. I didn't think deeply enough about what were the shapes this would force me, that I would want to add near the end. When I did my initial sketches, when I did my planning, I forgot the teeth, and because of that, when much later we're going to be at the detail work, It's it my attempt at making teeth fail miserably, and I'm forced to well, not forced. I could have kept them, but it made me do a underneath the nose. There's like a flat surface that's kind of annoying. It's not really noticeable when the beaver is just placed on the table, but it's still not ideal. So here I'm trying to shape the back end of the tail. I'm mostly trying to do a rough job right now because I wanted to give myself a better holding position. On this project, I really leaned a lot on drawing often what I intended to cut, which was helpful. But I think I shouldn't lean on that too much for the future because one of the things that is fun with art is improvisation and going with the punches. But if I always draw every little thing, I think I might end up not being able to improvise and correct my mistakes as much. So there's a delicate balance to be struck there. So to counter what I was saying about me not planning enough what shapes I would want to do on this final sculpture, I'm planning on the future when once I know what I want to make, what animal or what will be the subject of my next sculpture, I think I should look up more pictures in advance. Real think about the implications of, okay, this is what I want to sculpt. This thing has this or that feature that I might forget if I don't think about it right now. So it will be a process that I need to be more involved before I even open the camera. Because here I thought about it once I was too far in the process, looking at the. I wanted to add detail to the head. I didn't like it, and I was looking at the beaver picture on my phone, and it said, "Oh yeah, that's the head of their shape," but I didn't do it properly because of that. Here I'm rounding. I'm starting to make the curves of the tail and its connection with the body, with the intent of helping shape the rest of the body from the point of the tail that connects with the body. Also, one of the problems with the way I carved this time is that at the beginning, when I was drawing my sketch on all faces, I'd drawn the legs, but then because of the way I was carving and the legs kind of went out of my mind for a very long while. So when I go back to trying to add legs, it feels as though I've removed too much wood to do the legs good enough for me. So once again, geometry to account for, to think about before the beginning. I might be sounding as though I'm complaining, but I am happy about this carving of a beaver. It's just the principle and the point of this channel is to critique myself and try to improve through figuring out what works best for me. So I have to be severe, is not exactly the word I'm looking for, with myself here, because well, that's how I'm going to improve, by trying different things and trying to pick out at the exact reason why that or that didn't work the way I wanted. Here I'm shaping the legs with the same technique I'd used with the chicken, by sliding the knife across the line whilst twisting it to remove the wood. It was a bit harder to do than with the chicken's wings, because there are two legs, obviously, on each face. Obviously, I can't push the knives and twist it quite as liberally as I could with the chicken, because with the chicken it was the void after there was nothing after the slide of the knife, so I could go more or less as far as I wanted to. But here I had to stop myself before hitting the other legs, which would have broken it and made it a lot worse of a sculpture. So it was a lot more delicate of a balance. I tried with different knife and a slightly different technique with the second set of legs. I tried with the gouger for a bit to deepen lines and then remove. It didn't work quite as well, but it was fine. It was fine. Because this was a 1x1 sculpture, compared to the starting block of wood was 1x1 inch compared to the 2x2 inch of the chicken. Most of the time on this carving was spent on more detailed work. Because the chicken, most of the first stream was just the rough work. But here, the rough work was maybe half an hour, I think. And then the rest of the stream was more on trying to make detail. Like here, I'm trying to add in the ears, which I had not even sketched at all. I had just forgotten them until this point. So that made the head a bit stumpier, which didn't help when I was then trying to make the mouth and teeth, because I hadn't left myself enough room for it to look right. It's not the only factor, but the fact that I forgot the ears certainly didn't help. Well, I basically forgotten the head as a whole. The head as a whole, I more or less winged it when I came to it, because a chicken was easy. The head of a chicken is easy to me, because it's my favorite animal. But a beaver, though it's an animal I like, it's not an animal I have much interactions with. So it's not as instinctive of a process for me to try to make one. So I forgot, didn't think, didn't consider a lot of things. This here is when I tried to make the teeth, and then the moment when I just remove them. I don't know if we can see the moment I just remove them. Oh. There was a bit of lag on my end, I think. Here I'm unsatisfied with the tail in general. I'm trying to make it rounder, thinner, and then I shape the legs, the feet, I wanted it to have feet a bit because when I placed it down, it looked strange to me. So I thought the way to make it better looking would be to have it slightly raised by having carved a belly and given room for the feet to be raised a bit. It didn't change much of what I thought was a problem, but it wasn't really a problem, it was just a feeling. I don't think I'll have much more commentary to do for the rest of the video, so I'm just going to talk about how I edit the videos. So when I take the live stream, I remove all of the times where I'm not cutting, drawing, or doing something constructive to the video, as well as some of the detail work or small cuts that I feel aren't significant enough to be shown. Then I time lapse it until I have a reasonable length of video, and then I just play it and record in one sitting the voiceover I'm doing right now. I'm doing it more as a feeling and in one take. Well, or two if there's a bug that makes my recording stutter or something. Like this video you're watching right now, I did 2 takes because at some point near where I shaped the teeth, the video I'm watching stuttered a lot, and it made me lose track of what I was talking about, so I had to stop and refresh from that point. So I think that soon we're going to be at the point where I'm going to show the final product to the camera a bit. So thank you for watching. If you want to, feel free to watch my other stuff and whatever is coming next. Oh yes, the eye. The eyes I just made indents by gouging a few small splinters on both sides.